Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest you know so well. He's a two-time Olympia champion. He's the first Arnold Classic Physique champion. Please welcome, all the way from Los Angeles, the Black Swan, Breon Ansley. What's up, Breon?
What's up, Ramen? You do that a lot better than like those UFC and you know, like prize fighting announcers, man. What's his name? Buffett?
Yeah, isn't there two?
Buffer.
Even his brother does it, I think.
Even his brother is the UFC guy, right?
Yeah. Because they just say Rumble.
Yeah, man. You never know. Hey, yeah. I would give him a call.
Okay, I'll do that job, sure. So everyone saw your video. You made a huge announcement recently on your channel. It's called Breon Ansley, everybody. Great content on there. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of pancake eating. Good stuff. So you announced this is going to be your final year in Classic, and I am overjoyed. I thought you had an amazing run in Classic, but I've been waiting for you to really, I've been seeing you struggle to get to 180 for a long time now. And I see you during prep, and it's just like those years. The last few years, Flex Lewis was a 212. I'd see him like 4 or 5 weeks out and like, wow, look how round and full and bubbly he is. And he's getting shredded. And then he'd get on stage, not the same thing. It was still enough in his case to keep winning, but that was not the best Flex Lewis. And I know what we've been seeing these past few shows is not the best Breon Ansley, because I can see you have these round full muscle bellies. You can hold more size. You can really fill out and be that much better. I'm wondering what took you so long to arrive to this decision?
Well, I guess it's just, a personal thing to make sure we come at our best, I wanted to kind of just go out, just wanting to be at 1,000%. I never hit 1,000% yet in any Classic year. And I just wanted to, to just hit 1,000%, to be as sharp and as try to be, like you said, try to see my full potential, still coming down to 180 pounds. And this year we're going to have a whole different game plan to try to do that, have a whole different look. And because it has to be, right? As now I've been sliding a bit, right? And the physique is now, I think the judges have already seen this, my physique as it is in Classic enough times to where they're like, okay, Breon, you got to bring something jaw-dropping now, and you got to bring something better than the wins that we saw. So this year's got to be the year for that, Ron. This year's got to be the year for that if it's going to be the last year. And so that's what's taken me so long to hit everything 1,000%. I haven't done it yet. Now we're going to, now we put a game plan together to hopefully hit it 1,000%, and we're hopeful about it.
I want to talk about the game plan in a second, but first of all, I have to make a minor apology. After the judging at this last Arnold, I was ducking you. I would be around you and I was like avoiding eye contact and everything, because I knew I could see exactly the way the call-outs went, how it was going to go down. And I knew you weren't happy with either the way you looked or the way you were being called. I knew things weren't going exactly the way you had planned and wanted them to. And I like you a lot. I just didn't want to, if you would ask, I don't think you're the type that would say, hey, what do you think? But if you did, I would have been dead honest with you. I'd say, you're flat. I got Ramon beating you this time. I got Urs beating you. And I can't lie. I can't do that. So like, I remember specifically in that restaurant in the Hilton, you were like over here and I was over here with Hector.
Yeah. And that was before, when was that? Was that after or before when I saw you?
It'd have to be after, because I wouldn't avoid you before judging.
Oh, right. After pre-judging.
I would have been like, hey, Breon, what's up, man? But
yeah.
So was that show, was the way that show went down, that had to be instrumental in you finally saying, all right, that's it, Classic. Because you just got beat by two guys who you had just beaten at the Olympia a few months before.
Yeah.
So I think it was, even though you weren't at your best, I think it was, people have these conspiracy theories. The judges are telling Breon, we don't like your look anymore. So I don't think the judges are that. They're not evil people. They're not. They do the best they can. But was the way that the judging went and the way the results came out, was that really instrumental in you finally deciding maybe it is time for me to walk away from this division soon and realize my ultimate potential as a 212?
Yes, of course. I mean, if you're winning, things, your mindset is going to change, and things are going to, you're going to have a certain outlook on things. But if you're definitely sliding down, expecting a first place, expecting to win this, the Arnold, and then end up getting fourth and getting beat by, with all due respect, those guys are man, those guys' physiques are great, Urs and Ramon and Terrence especially.
Yeah.
But with more of my potential and me having maybe to me being able to fill up and have a few more days to fill up and kind of have my body bounce back, I think I'm really tough to beat. Yeah. And that's what I'm at a disadvantage with in Classic, is because even with the Olympia, we get less than 48 hours to fill back up and to bring our body back, carb back up. So it's like, especially for me, when I have to come down in weight so much, and there's probably all three of those guys, and I don't know, I hear Chris still has some pounds to go too to come up into his weight class. Yeah. So I'm really at a disadvantage when we're against guys that haven't even hit their max in weight yet, right? Their weight cap yet. So yeah, that was instrumental, and even more instrumental, right, in the decision. I've already been toying around with it and thinking about it for the last few years, but again, I've been stubborn, and because I wanted to hit a look that I'm totally happy with 1,000%, no matter what happens, win or lose, Yeah.
So there's some math in your video, and I'm not good at math, but I'm gonna try my best here. You figured out, during prep, once you're around 193, 195, somewhere in that range, that's where you look your best. That's where things are popping full. You're just as lean at, 193, 194, 5 as you are at 180, I think, based on pictures I've seen. But then you have to keep, that's not fat you're losing when you go that last few months, that last few weeks, you lose actual lean muscle tissue. So I don't know how it's even possible to weigh in at 180 when you've lost 10 plus pounds of actual lean muscle. It's not just carbs and water, that's muscle that's gone. How are you supposed to get that back in like 24, 48, even if you had 3 days, 4 days? How could you realistically get all that muscle back in that short of time?
Yeah. Well, that plays into the game plan for this time around. On the way I was doing it before, Ron, it's impossible to gain all of it back in that short amount of time. Into starting a prep 12 weeks out, and then pretty much starting a prep 12, 13 weeks out, and then pretty much right off the bat, low calorie diet, cardio is significant. Right off the bat, and we're coming down, and then at the end, we're really coming down, and still doing cardio that last week, leading up into weigh-ins, where I should be just resting and not doing almost anything, that last week. So doing it that way, it's impossible to bounce back, coming down so low, and with such short amount of time. Now, the game plan is, if we have to come back down if we know we have to come back down the same to the same weight, yeah, right? We're going to be there 6-7 weeks out. Okay. We're going to be at that weight cap 6-7 weeks out, and be able to fill up, refeed, come up, come down, come up, come down. So we kind of maintain that hardness when we come up and come down right there, and have a longer period of time to where my body is at that weight cap, yeah, and leaner over a long period of time, right? Yeah, because I'll be peeled right there if I'm at the weight cap. So we're going to be right there, peeled at the weight cap for over a long period of time. That way, I will be saving the body with less cardio, saving the body maybe with eating. I might be able to even eat into weigh-ins, which would be the exact opposite of what I've been doing the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've been breathing just air to make weigh-ins the last couple of years. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. So that's the game plan. That's how we're going to do it. And, what's also we've already started. Well, I'm giving you some inside information a little bit. I'm in prep right now. And you're like, well, the Olympia is way out So
No,
we'll probably be doing it.
You already said that in your video, and you didn't say the shows, but I did a little calculating.
Yeah, you did the math.
I did the math. So I'll see you in
Yeah.
Tampa, I think it is.
Ah.
I counted the weeks from when you made the video. He said he's 20
You're
weeks
smart.
out.
You're smart, Ron. You're smart. You're smart. So
You
yeah,
won-
we're gonna get on that stage before the Olympia.
Yeah. Didn't you win Tampa Classic Physique a few years back?
No, I've never done Tampa.
Oh no. Oh, it's a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, never done Tampa.
Oh, Tim, have you ever done a Tim Gardner show?
Never.
Oh, you'll like it. He
Never
gives
even
away-
done a kind of show.
You're going to get either a sword or an axe, probably a sword, something cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
the trophies are top notch. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, okay,
forward to
you're going to get down to 180. You're going to stay at 180 for a while and do some refeeds and come up and down. And then theoretically weigh in at 180 and then carb up to like what do you think? Like 185, 186 by the time you get on stage, theoretically?
Yeah, well, usually I get to about 180 before I hit the stage. It's about the high 180s,
Okay.
88, 89. Yeah, but see, that's the thing about it is that's too much. That's too high. We've been battling, trying to really revive it back, right? You got to push pretty hard because of the short amount of time that you're given. You got to push. So that's been at a, I've had to sacrifice stomach issues and having the tightest stomach up there when you're trying to push hard. It's a fine line right there. So if you have more time, which we don't, probably have even less time with the Tampa Pro and all that within the Olympia, right? Now these other shows you get even less time.
Yep.
Yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, that fine line of saving the stomach, having the tightest stomach up there, which we know is extremely important in Classic.
Yes.
And filling up enough, to have my body bounce back enough to where you could see some of its real potential, at that 193, 4, 5 mark, to where I feel like that's my sweet spot. Yeah.
We just had Giles Thomas on MD Global, had Neil Curry from the UK, and he talked about Classic is the toughest men's division simply because you do have a short amount of time from weighing in to fill up, and you still have to have this flat stomach that can hit a vacuum and everything. It's almost impossible to do.
Absolutely, man.
Maybe for like a guy like Urs who's not even at the limit yet, maybe it's not so tough. But for you and some other guys who really, you're not meant to be 180 pounds. It has got to be like a bitch to get to 180 feet at this point. So I applaud you for doing such a great job with it these past few years, because I doubt 180 was ever easy for you to get to all this time.
No, I mean, when I first started Classic, it was a lot easier. 2016 and 17, right? When I didn't have as much maturity and I didn't have as much, lean muscle, easier then. But man, training with Chris and putting on some beef, and we've had to lose some muscle. That's for damn sure. And so one final run to kind of reach our potential, to see how if this master plan can really help us reach our potential and have a whole different look, still, within the same parameters.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm confident in it, but after this year, man, it's time to really, really do it and see the potential and go for maybe another Olympia and be the only one for 2 Olympias in 2 different divisions.
Yeah. No one's ever won 2 different, have they? I think didn't some woman win 2 different divisions? I'm not sure.
Oh, a woman did?
Because the fact that I can't remember, a lot of women are going to be very upset with me. I'm not sure it happened.
Oh, I know. We better be careful with that one.
maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. It could have happened, guys. Somebody
we'll have to do the research and find out for sure.
Correct me in the comments, guys. All right, so now I have to be the devil's advocate, the a-hole who asked the question a lot of people are going to ask.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go to 212 now? Why are you waiting?
Well, again, it's a personal thing. I want to go out on my terms, and I want to go out having the physique looking like 100% like I want it to in Classic. Like I said, I haven't been happy, totally happy, even with the wins, Ron, even with the wins, even with the championships.
Come on now. What was wrong with 2017, 2018? 2017, 18 were the years you won, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What did you not like about your physiques in those years?
Still on the flatter side.
Hmm.
You know, I thought still on the flatter side, could have been full and a little bit more round in areas, could have been a little bit more developed in areas, could have been still a little bit more. I think I could have been a little bit more sharper and a little bit more conditioned in every year.
Wow.
Every year, absolutely every year. But see, that's the thing. I haven't done what, you know, the game plan of what I'm going to do this year. I haven't did that in the last couple of years. And what happens when you don't do that, and if you're coming down and losing this muscle, then like you said, you have a softer look than what you had before. You know, you're not as hard because the muscle is lost. You weren't you know, lean right there over a longer period of time. You know, and you might have a little bit more stress, a little bit more water retention, you know what I mean, underneath the skin. All that stuff, man. And the fibers just don't wrap around you know, the muscle quite like you want them to at the end, man, with coming down so hard, crashing so hard. Yeah. Because I'm in such deprivation mode with water and food. You know, there's no bounce and no pop.
Well, the thing that you lose when you're flat and you're in great condition like you always are, I can tell at the Arnold you were lean. It wasn't a body fat issue. You weren't holding water. I could see you were just flat. So if I'm really exaggerating. If your striation in your quad is this deep when you're full, and then your quads are flat, now it's half as deep, and you don't have the same depth to the striations, the separations, all those details. You lose so much of that. It's funny because Jose and I did a show last week and we talked about is Classic catching up, and obviously it is, because we were at the Boston Pro, and I'd say a quarter of the fans there were there for Classic, at least. And they were going, Urs got way more crowd love than even Bonac, but it's all these young kids. It's all these 19, 20-year-old. They go nuts because he's there. They're you know, there are many reasons Classic is appealing to the young guys the way it is. But, one thing Jose said is he still thinks they should raise the weight cap for all you guys. And I mean, maybe that could have kept you in Classic if they let you be 190 or something, or even like 187 or something. You know, I mean, what would have been like a perfect weight cap for you where you never would have had to make this decision?
I think somewhere around there, 186, 187. You know, I definitely could have played around with that and done a lot more with that, with the round coming down to, you know, weighing in at that weight there, for sure. And I definitely would have looked a lot better on stage, man, in the matter of, you know, 24 hours, 48 hours when it's time to get on stage and compete. Like you said, the depth, which I really bring to the table, and it's really my strong suit, the depth and the maturity and the details, you know, and that density, which, you know, I think really, you know, I think that you know, I'm winning in that category amongst everybody else. Yeah. You know, and if I lose that, then, you know, that kind of really evens the playing field and puts me at a disadvantage and makes me essentially lose. Yes. In a lot of aspects. You know, so that's very important. That's very important for me in Classic, and for me to see my full potential, having my physique look like that and keep that look. And if I lose that look, then you know, it's not good. It's not good. And it hasn't been good lately.
Well, I mean, you're not going to lose the muscle maturity and detail. You're not going to lose that. It's just been a matter of you lost it because you had to come in flat because of this weight that you were arbitrarily. That's the rule. You have to be 180 because that's how tall you are. And this is what you can weigh if you're that tall. So you're going to have 32 more pounds to play with after this year. Have you been limiting your off? I know you've been keeping your weight down. Do you intentionally limit like your growth? Do you not eat as much food? Do you not train as heavy? Are there certain things that you've been doing these past couple of years because you know you can't gain all this muscle because you're just gonna have to lose it anyway?
Yeah. I just keep my weight. I've been keeping my weight down. Yeah, just keeping my weight down. And for me, even keeping my weight down is like 210 pounds. My body wants to just wake up at 212, 13, 14, 15. You know, I could get there so easy, and it can hover around there so easy. But so keeping my weight down to around, 205, 6'7" has been what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And like I said, just losing 10 pounds is, losing 10 to 11, 12 pounds is my sweet spot. I'm ready to go. But that last 12, 13 or so to come down to 180 has been tough tough physically, and tough to, have my body see its full potential on stage at that weight. But yeah, to answer your question, what was your question, Ron, again?
Yeah, so let me get back to it. You've kept your weight down because you knew you had to come down to 180 anyway. I swear I've seen you like around 230, and you look pretty good at that weight. You're not ripped or anything, but like I said, the fullness.
Yeah.
When someone has full muscle bellies, you could see how much more size they could potentially carry, without looking sloppy or without blowing out their gut or anything like that. Haven't you been around in recent years? Haven't you been 230, 235?
Yeah. When was this? This was before 2000 this was 2019.
Okay.
Prep, I want to say that I was hovering around 230, looking pretty good. But then look what I got to do. I got to lose 50 pounds.
Oof. But now theoretically, you could live somewhere between 230, 240 in your off season, and come down to, weigh in at 212 and step on stage at like 215, 218. Who knows? I hear all kinds of crazy stories about, depends on how much time you have, obviously. But I don't think you would need to do that. I think, I think around 200 pounds, you'd look phenomenal. I don't think you don't need to be like Sean Clarita is like 170, right?
Right.
And, I know you're significantly taller than Sean. I'm not making that comparison, but you don't need to be 212 on the dot. And I think that's a good thing, because you're not going to have to restrict yourself anymore. That's the main thing is, grow. And it's crazy because you're not a spring chicken. You're not as old as me, but you're not a spring chicken. But I think you're going to shock a lot of people, because I'm already hearing people talk about, people love to talk shit. That's all.
Of course they do, right?
That's human nature. It's not just bodybuilding. It's just people in general love to talk shit.
Right.
So I'm already hearing he's too old. He can't put any size on now. And I'm like, just you watch, because when someone's been holding back on their eating and their training because they couldn't grow, they would have to lose all that muscle. I think you have a lot of surprises in store for us. I don't think you don't need to be like 260 on stage or anything ridiculous, but
right. And I can't wait. I got so much left in the tank for them, and that's going to be my thing. That's where that's where I'm headed, to really show everybody now that I could still compete at a high level at my age, like a Dexter, like whoever else you want. Well, Sean won it at 44, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And I'm not there yet, but I'm knocking at the door. So that's going to be something that I'm really excited about too, to show everybody that I can compete at a high level and be a top guy at that age, and I can still improve from year to year to year at that age. Right. So, yeah. Okay. Here we go.
So another old school guy who's closer to my age, a couple of years on me, Chris Cormier, the real deal. What was you've obviously must have conferred with him on all this. I'm sure he had his input. How does he feel about you moving to 212? Did he want you to do it sooner, or does he like the timeline that you have set out?
Oh, he's been wanting me to do it for 2 years now. Yeah. He's been wanting me to do it for 2 years. He wants me to do it this year. He's like, man, this is not bodybuilding. What you're doing, this is not bodybuilding. With you losing all your bounce, and you losing all your fibers, you losing all this hard work, man, that we put together over the years, just to lose it. So like I said, I think this master plan this year is going to be a method to really hold on to a lot of it. And we're very hopeful about it, but next year for sure, we will embark on really seeing the full potential, and really, being comfortable with where the body wants to be, and where I'm at muscle wise, in that division. And I agree with you. I think around a 200 or so, You know, a 200, a low 200s. I'll be dangerous. I'll be dangerous in that division, you know, because I think my structure doesn't need to be so heavy pounds wise, but it's the, you know, the muscles can really look a lot heavier and have more pop than what the, you know, than what the actual scale says. Yeah. You know, like Sean, look how big he looks up there, and you know, that's just 170.
Right.
So I think I can bring a lot to the table as far as that is concerned, and I'm just excited about it, man. I'm just excited about to let everybody just see the changes. You know, having everybody go along with the journey, and with these changes, and with now kind of switching the mindset and switching gears going into this thing.
Right. I knew Cormier would agree with me, you know.
Oh yeah. He's been like, man, this is not bodybuilding what you're doing. We need to raise up. And he actually wanted me to try to do 212 in Boston.
Man,
212 in Boston.
Oh, we didn't have 212 in Boston.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't there. Yes, he was like, oh, okay, it's not there. But yeah, he wanted me to do 212 this year already. Like I said, 2 years ago. So
well, here's listen, you don't have to agree with, you don't have to, just think about this. You got plenty of time. I haven't seen the schedule for post Olympia shows. Olympia's in December again, right?
Yeah.
They put in December again. So I don't know. I assume there's going to be some post Olympia shows, right? I don't know. Let's say that
there always is, right? At least a few.
I mean, when are they going to be, in January? So
yeah, there's a few after Olympia.
Okay, so here's my idea. Just let this roll around in your head for a couple months. Just like Clarita did that open show 2 weeks after the Olympia and he won it. Think about it. Think about this. If there's a 212 show, 2, 3, 4 weeks after the Olympia, somewhere in that range, eat up and do that show as a 212. Come in at like 195 and destroy it. And I think that's going to give people a real taste of what you're capable of. And they'll know that wasn't, you know, the full effect, because you didn't plan, you know, the way you're going to do it as a 212 next year. But I would flip my lid if you did that. I think that'd be awesome. Imagine that.
I like the idea. I like the idea.
Think about it. Yeah.
I like the idea, because that, you know, essentially that's going to be my last classic show anyway. After that, the Olympia. So anything you do after that, man, you know what it's going to be. Well, I mean, not going to be any more classic.
So yeah, because I'm wondering, after, you know, you typically, when you're done competing, do you typically take like time off where you don't even train, or do you usually keep training?
Oh, I usually take just about a week.
Okay.
Just about a week and then some off, and then I'm right back in there.
So what do you typically look like 2 weeks after the Olympia? What do you weigh and how do you look condition wise?
I bounce back to about low 2s, 2 weeks. Oh no, I bounce back to, in 2 weeks, man, I can get right back to 210.
Okay. Well, you don't need to be 210, but I mean,
yeah, right back at 210, but I'm around, you know, 205 for sure. And I'm looking great.
Yeah. I'm not Brandon Gertis. I'm not Chris Cormier, but this is my idea. I'm not taking credit for it. I'm sure they would have, one of them would have thought of that too, but you're not agreeing to it now. You don't have to, obviously. Just think about it. I think that would be incredible. It would give people a sneak preview. It would shut up a lot of people, because a lot of people say he can't put on any size. He's too old. He's classic. He can't be a good 212. That would just give them a taste. Say, this guy was 180 pounds, you know, 2-3 weeks ago at the Olympia. Look at him now at 195, 200. You know, I think people would say, oh shit, well, that's what he did, just eating, just, you know, refeeding for a couple of weeks. Imagine if he has a whole off season to really grow, hold 230, 235 for a few months, and then come down to 200, something like that. I don't know. I
like where you're going with it, Ron. I like where you're going with it. It's definitely can play into all the controversy, you know, play into what people are talking about, and I'll play into all the naysayers, which we definitely love to do. Yeah. So I'll keep it stewing and brewing up there.
Okay, because it's not the most exciting sport, as you know. We need stuff like that to really. we got to jazz it up somehow. It's just
the 212 needs some bounce too. So I think it'll be great. You know, I think I have a little personality, and I think I can bring some bounce to the 212. Get it back. You know, have things happen, like getting it back into the Arnold, that type thing, man.
That's what we need to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you were a 212 originally. Not everyone knows this. You turned pro 2014, was it?
13.
13 as a 212, and you only did did you do two 212 shows?
Yep.
Yeah.
212 shows.
And I think you didn't even come to the night show at one of them. Didn't
Right.
you like fall asleep or something? Isn't that what
Oh
happened?
man, what a story. What a story. New York Pro was my first, was my debut 212 show, 2014.
Yeah.
And just like how we did it in the amateurs, right? You they only invite like the top 5 and 6 back to the night show, right? And so that's what I was used to. I thought the same thing happened in all the shows, you know, pro, amateur, whatever. And I was waking up and I had all kind of calls, and this was after prejudging.
Yeah.
I had all kind of calls, and well, a couple of hours after prejudging, after I had eaten myself to sleep.
Yeah. Food coma.
I had all kind of calls and texts like, "Where are you at? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be on stage for your routine." And I missed it, man. Eating my sorrows away, and but genuinely not thinking that I was supposed to be there anyway.
Right.
You know, so I had to write. Definitely wrote an apology email to Steve and told him the truth, and you know, we were able to laugh at that one later on. But that's what happened.
So they were going to let everybody from the division pose.
Everybody comes back and does their night routine.
Well, a lot of times, at some, depending on like time, if they don't, they'll say, here are the people who didn't make the top 5 or 6, and they just come out and hit like one pose. Sometimes they do that. It depends on how crowded the lineup is, because that show in the old days, man, I remember one year Milos was in it. He told me there was like 48 guys just in the open.
Oh yeah, so probably if it's like that, probably all those guys aren't coming back to do it. But yeah, like you said, they'll probably just announce the guys, the bottom half guys, and then let the top half guys do the show. But nevertheless, I was supposed to be there representing somehow, some way, and not in the bed, you know, with having eaten pizza and burgers and donuts.
Oh well, this is going to be a very, very different, triumphant return to the 212 next year. I don't want to get way far ahead of ourselves talking about it too much now. It's still way many, many moons away.
Yeah, and first things first, we gotta you know, we gotta contend for a title, man, in Classic. That's been my goal, and we got to contend for a title. That's what I really want to do, and that's what I really think I really can do. So first things first.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how this new game plan pans out. I hope it has a spectacular result, because that's the one thing I don't like seeing is you flat, because it's so much of what's great about your physique we lose when you're flat. You know, you have these, like your front double bicep, everything just so pops, you know, the sweep to the last, the quad, everything just pops and is so round when you're full versus flat. So
of course.
Fingers crossed on this one.
I'm with you on that one, brother. I am with you on that one, Ron.
Cool.
No flatness. We need to pop. No flatness.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time and sorting this all out and listening to my crazy theories and suggestions and all that. Because yeah.
For sure. No, you got some good ones. Oh, one more thing. I want to give a shout out to an addition to the team. His name is Scott Scone. He is helping. We're adding him to the team and his expertise. And he's been. He actually came aboard for the Arnold, and now we have more time to put some magic to work. So Scott Scone is an addition to the piece with Brandon Gertis and Chris. And
what does Scott do as part of the team?
Scott, he also just oversees the dieting, oversees the you know, the how we're kind of you know, having high days, low days, medium days in accordance to the training split, kind of really looking after fixing my digestion, fixing my acid reflux. Yeah, so he's a dual end for the mastermind behind all that stuff, the diet, you know, fixing digestive issues, really mixing, maxing how we can really, you know, have the food work around training split, around the specific body parts that we're training. you know, and get, even though we can't put on too much muscle, but, you know, develop a look that we want. Even so, it's even maybe a little bit more, maybe density, even maybe a little bit more refinement. Yeah, and keeping me during a prep, keeping the endurance and keeping the stamina high, keeping the energy levels high. So he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the name, but I have a feeling that's going to change as time goes by.
Yeah, he's out of Tampa,
Okay.
Florida.
Okay. And your girl qualified for this year's Olympia, right?
Yes. So Danny Phelps will be doing this Olympia with me as well, and it's going to be fun.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a big year for her. She has a lot to prove. She's excited about it. She's hungry about it, and she's trying to be, I'm calling it now, she's trying to be top 4 or 5 at the damn O this year.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Somebody's got to be.
Somebody's got to be. Yeah. Let it be her.
Man, I can't wait to see your
She's one of the hardest working bikini girls that I know. I mean, I see, not just saying that because I'm the boyfriend, but you know, I see a lot of these girls in the way they train, and she gets in there, she'd be yelling and screaming and drooling, spitting, you know, going after it. And I'm like, bikini girls don't train like that. So yeah, credit to her, man. She's she's a badass. She's a badass worker.
I could see. Does she have cue cards up for you? No, you just come.
No. She's nowhere to be found right now. No, that's just me. That's just me from the heart.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, that's all, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, comments, all that good stuff. That little bell in the corner, hit that thing too, and follow Breon on his channel, Breon Ansley. Can't wait for the content as this year goes on. Yeah. Good stuff, man. And that's it. Thanks everybody for watching Ronline Report with Olympia champion, Arnold Classic champion, the Black Swan, Breon Ansley. We'll see you next time.
Once again, Ron, man, that's wonderful, brother. That's wonderful.